I became involved because Richard Longcrane telephoned me, and I worked with Richard about 6 years ago, which was a tremendous experience and at a very difficult time in my life. And he's a man of great compassion and warmth, and I knew he wouldn't ask me to do something that I wouldn't have wanted to do. And of course, age is something that I have a lot of now, and so I'm interested in anything to do with that. I've certainly never done a commercial before, but I thought this is worth doing. The word age, actually it's interesting because it shifts a little bit as you get older and older and older, and your perspectives alter, and you begin to understand why people who seem to behave in a very baffling way behaved the way they did. It's very hard not to become very negative, because as you get older you can make comparisons that you couldn't make when you were younger. So you seem always to be saying it used to be like this, it used to be better. Of course, many things these days are better than they were, but one of the things that on the whole isn't better is your own health very often. And so a lot of people, as they get older, encounter problems which they've never encountered before. They lose independence, and that can be very frightening and very isolating. I know a number of very old people, and I think it's very important to keep them from feeling that isolation and that loneliness and helplessness, and from feeling that they're a burden on other people, which nobody wants to be. So I think that the focus on age, which is becoming stronger as we all survive longer, is very important and needs to be kept up, kept going. I would like Age UK to be able to provide a network and a community sense where, as I've said before, people don't feel isolated but feel that they're useful, if only because of the things they've seen and the things they've done and the mistakes they've made. I think we should all learn from other people's mistakes in the hope that we can avoid making some of our own as young people. And it's very important to keep up a communication between the generations, and I'm afraid in the society that we live in today, that's becoming more and more difficult. Well, I suppose I didn't think of my parents as being older people for a long time, but they are an inspiration to me, because I realised more and more how they were very gallant, actually. They didn't have easy lives, and they were very decent people. At the moment, there's in particular one old friend I have who is 97, who is very tired. I think people can't quite imagine how tiring it is when you're very, very old, to keep looking after yourself and to keep feeling connected to life. And I find her very inspiring because she tries to imagine what other people's lives are like all the time. I think imagination in that sense is a wonderful thing in an old person, so that you don't get cut off or lose sympathy with the younger generation, which a lot of old people do. Partly they're forced into doing that. They just think that young people are thoughtless, and it can be too easy to forget what it was like to be young. But I think if we both try to remember what it's like to be young and to imagine what it's like to be old, we'd be in a better place. The thing I enjoy most about being older is not having to do things that I don't want to do.